Isle here. So in this video, I'm just going to be breaking down everything that you need to know from the live stream that Bungie had today. It covered the weapons, and I'm just going to talk about it and kind of give you the Spark Notes version and just kind of jump around the stream. So I want to start here because this is kind of where they talk about why they brought the certain weapons back, and then we'll look at all the weapons and the god rolls and a few other things from the stream. So I'm just going to play this part so that you get a feel for what was going on in this stream.
A lot of what Into the Light is going to be. What was the role that these weapons played? Like, why is Shaxx choosing now to go ahead and re-equip us with this particular set of antiquities?
And part of the idea is that it's like this forbidden arsenal, right? The things that aren't, that we've kind of set aside, at least in the Crucible and other spaces. And now in this kind of dire time with our backs against the wall, we need to, kind of set aside those conventions and really take every advantage we can in the fight against the Witness, and kind of like having players in this moment with Into the Light, it's a great time to hop in and play if you haven't been playing, or if year one.
All right, so basically he just talks about how this is when we really need all our best weapons available to us, and now I will go over. This is the Hall of Champions, so this is kind of where we go. We can attune certain weapons, and I'm just going to jump around here a little bit because they give some good info here.
Icons on the floor, a little bit like 30th. You can come here to redeem this currency, trophies of bravery that you're going to earn from completing Onslaught and from playing the broad game in Destiny. So all of these...
So right here, we see this requires Shaxx rep and 50 trophies of bravery. So basically that's their currency, and you just have to level up Shaxx a bunch to unlock these chests, and they drop armor and weapons, but there is a new armor set that you can also get. So that's the new armor set. And yeah. So presumably it's going to be mostly weapons from those chests, but yeah, basically just keep playing Onslaught and ranking up Shaxx, and that's how you'll be able to open those. The next thing I'm going to jump to is right here.
Guns here. And this one here, those trophies that you'll be collecting with Shaxx, you can just keep redeeming them here, and you'll be able to get all your guns here.
So yeah, as you get more trophies, you can just open this chest, and I'm not sure if it's going to be focusable or it's just going to be random drops, but yeah, you can get chests from there. And then a little
this
bit
one here is,
yeah, right here.
We're bringing back the Gift of the Thunder Gods. So if you need to catch up on your power level to make sure that you're like ready to hop right in, that's something you can do as well.
Sweet.
So that's crucial. They brought this back once before. Basically, it's just going to drop a bunch of armor at powerful cap, not pinnacle cap. So if you haven't played in a while, now is pretty much the best time to jump in to prep for final shape. And I will make a prep guide in a few weeks, shortly after Into the Light. So stick around for that. And then the next thing, so Shaxx has some bounties. And then here's the rank rewards, and this final reward is really, really good.
Into the Light, you're gonna. One thing in particular I want to point out.
So right there, Super Black Key Alpha. This is the Super Black shader. It says this is one of 2 keys needed to unlock. The other key is held by Arsight, who is the other NPC, and he's kind of right by Shaxx. And he has some quests and also some bounties.
Interesting. Black. So potentially from back in the day, might remember this. Is this what's this? You need to wholesale. So it'll look for the.
So here's the shader.
Oh man,
it's pretty clean. They do show it later, so I'll show that later as well because they do a little spin. But yeah, this shader is awesome. So definitely a reason to farm Onslaught and all this. Even like the weapons are crazy, and we're gonna get to that very shortly. Like the rolls are nuts, but yeah, this shader is freaking awesome. So we'll just jump ahead a bit to Arsight.
Shaxx is obviously going to be there to help us get rewards. In addition to the Wave Arsenal, and so tell the people in the chat now, get a look and see what we're going to be working with him.
So that's Arsight.
A lot of quests for us.
So we've got quests and bounties, like I said. So these quests, they drop curated roles, and I'm actually going to bounce around to later in the stream because they kind of give a little bit more info on it. But I'll just show these quests
some pretty interesting things
because one is funny.
With, some of the quests you can pick up from Arsight. They're going to unlock a couple things. They also have very...
So you got to get scout rifle kills, sniper rifle kills, Rite of Succession. So this gets you Succession, which is one of the 12
A lot of fun
weapons.
working on.
And I got a kick out of this one, Edgelord. I thought that was pretty funny. So I'm going to bounce to here. I've got timestamps beside me.
Pretty much, that's just a...
Our site, rather. Those ones have a higher chance of giving you one of the limited edition variants, or?
Those give you the curated ones, right? The
Yes,
Curated?
those
That's
are the
right,
curated
thank you.
ones.
So basically they're saying those R-Site quests give you the curated rolls of these
So
weapons.
pretty much, that's a guarantee that you can get them. But anytime you get a brave weapon, there's a chance that it will have the double perks and the awesome appearance on it. So
Very.
So every time you get a brave weapon, you have a chance at double perks, and there's like an exclusive shader or ornament, and it will always drop with that when you do the quest one. And then if you saw the
that's a
gameplay,
guarantee that you can get them.
this is Luna's
Anytime you
Howl with
get a-
Magnificent Howl. Sorry if, here, I'll turn them down. So see, he gets a precision kill here, and now he has precision final blows. So this stacks up as you get precision final blows. Then when you reload, you get Mag Howl. And they go on later to talk about how you can actually stack this up to 2-tap. So this is returning as a 140. It used to be a 180. Not forgotten in Luna's Howl. And it could 3-tap back then. Or technically it could 2-tap if you procced Mag Howl and then switched to a different enemy. But anyways, now it can 2-tap, but it's a 140. So still a really fast kill. So essentially, you'd have to get 2 precision final blows to stack up. So see, he gets a precision kill here. So you'd need to get another one in Crucible, stack that up, then reload. And then once you reload, you have Mag Howl. And again, we don't know how much damage it'll do, but Chris Proctor did say it will be able to 2-tap. So that's pretty awesome. So a rework on an old favorite weapon perk. So we're going to go back to here in these curated copies. Sorry.
A guaranteed curated copy of these limited edition weapons.
Excellent.
Which I'm happy to show. They look rad.
A quick look at the mountaintop. Obviously, for the folks at
You'll unlock attunement, which is something. Oh,
so here's a look, of course.
So here they kind of go through the weapons. So we're going to start with the mountaintop. So auto-loading Vorpal, Cracked, and then if you want it for like ad clear, reload speed masterwork, Frenzy, which buffs your reload speed, Impulse Amplifier, which buffs your reload speed. So you could run these and absolutely just spam. So this will be decent for like champion damage, like we used to do way back in the day when GMs first released, or maybe in a hot swap rotation, depending on how much damage it does. So you can get double perks, and we'll get to that later too. But basically, they always have a chance to drop double perks, is what they go on to say in this live stream. So super strong. Like some of these weapons and these perk combos, we're about to get to it. They are nuts.
They may remember this one. I get a hunch that this is the ornaments that exist on there. Can you tell us a little bit about
And yeah, so this is the ornament.
what the limited edition variants of these are that are available over the course of Into the Light?
Sure, yeah. So the Brave Arsenal weapons will drop from Onslaught, and we're talking a little bit about attunement and whatnot here. There is a low chance that one will drop as a limited edition variant, which comes pre-equipped with a super shiny ornament that's locked to that weapon.
Yeah.
So he says the ornament is locked to the weapon. He did confirm you could take the ornament off to apply your own shader, but then you can't really put it back on, he said at some point in the stream.
Edge Transit here is the...
I want to talk about Edge Transit really quickly. So auto-loading Frenzy, pretty nice roll, but Cascade Point Frenzy. To this point, because Cascade Point is a damage perk in its own right, it doesn't buff the damage, but it buffs the fire rate. So it makes it really strong. So we have like auto-loading Cascade on a couple GLs right now, Wendigo being one of them. So this is actually Cascade and Frenzy. So you got a 15% damage buff from Frenzy, plus the damage buff that you get from Cascade Point being able to dump the mag really fast. So they even have like a mag increasing perk here. So I think that's Augmented Drum. So yeah, this is... They go on to talk about later how strong Edge Transit is in this new sandbox, like with its re-release. And oh my god, like that is a super good perk combination. So definitely worth getting.
limited edition variant. These are kind of exotic levels of fancy.
Yeah.
So you can't apply shaders to the ornaments. You have to remove the ornament first.
Got it.
The ornaments...
So there he just talked about how you have to remove the ornament to put on a shader. And then here we have Fallen Guillotine. We see Eager Edge. So that's back. So that's really nice.
Will only be available up until the final shape launches.
Yeah.
Or the limited edition variants.
Makes sense.
So with double perks in both traits.
Here's Hammerhead. So Rampage and Killing Tally. Again, double damage perks. You don't usually see this. So Commemoration's kind of the GOAT right now with Reconstruction Killing Tally, which is still excellent. But this thing will put out more damage. And they even have extended mag on this. So this thing's going to be crazy. And wait till we get to this Origin perk, because this Origin trait is freaking crazy as well.
Columns, but they don't have any other gameplay.
Obviously, we're going to go through all of these here and just a little bit more about that before we move on.
Yes, I'd love to. So one cool thing that you can do when completing these weapon quests, once they're available at our site, is attune to a weapon. So let's say that there's a weapon.
So she goes on to talk about attunement. And then there's all these
around, you'll see there's all of these.
So basically she says there's all these Shaxx holograms or whatever. And then you can go up to a certain one and you can just click attune. And what this is going to do is it's going to make it more likely, if not 100% guarantee, I couldn't totally tell, but it's a way higher drop chance to get the Recluse or any weapon you want. And I've talked about this for years. The reason Menagerie was so great was because it gave players agency. You could target farm the loot that you wanted. This is so important. It makes the game a million times funner, in my opinion. So props to them. That's a huge win. Yeah, having agency to farm what you want, being able to activate this attunement on any weapon we want. I believe you have to have it unlocked first, but once you do, you can attune. That is incredible. Huge props to Bungie there. I'm actually really excited for this Into the Light update now. These roles are insane. I've already talked about some of them, but yeah. The one thing I don't like about this Hall of Champions is there's no freaking testing ground. So I hope that's coming in the final shape, because my God, we need it, and I missed the Tribute Hall. But still, credit where it's due. Love the fact that we have some target agency. Oh, and another thing that I love, so we're just going to bounce ahead here.
You should all go out and farm with impunity to go ahead and get the roles you want, ultimately, because with the arrival of the final shape, we'll indeed be adding 100 more vault slots. So go.
100 vault spaces. My vault's always full. Here, I'll show you it too. So right now I'm at 587 out of 600, but I want to show you something. This is one of the few weapons I kept from Black Armory, was the Hammerhead. So I'm thrilled it's returning. Like I said, Commemoration's a beast. I also have a corrective measure, but I'll definitely be farming that Rampage Killing Tally. And tomorrow there is a blog post showing all the weapon rolls, so I'll go over some of the god rolls that I'll be farming and make another video. But yeah, definitely going to be farming a Hammerhead, even though I love my Commemoration. It's just a weapon that I've always loved. So the next part we're going to jump to is the new weapons.
Take us at a hung jury I see next as well. Sure. Walk through.
Yeah.
Obviously, terrorized by Blast Furnace and the Crucible. It's back.
Here, I'm just going to turn them down. This is a new perk, Last Stand. And I will go over what Last Stand does. I just want to see. So look at the stats on Blast Furnace here. Blast Furnace is absolutely juiced. So it's a 450 aggressive burst if you didn't play back in the day. And they do go on later to talk about Blast Furnace. And they say that it's got the Rasmussen sight, which was kind of the favorite. So it can get the barrel perks with a nice sight. And man, I just love that all black shader. So Hung Jury, this is my one hang up. We've had Hung Jury. I love Hung Jury. Like, I rocked it in D1. I have god rolls from different times in D2. But they brought it back at least twice, if not 3 times, as a Nightfall weapon. And then they're bringing it back again here. And they talk later about deciding which weapons they wanted to bring back. My only complaint was that they brought back Hung Jury. All the rest, I think, are fan favorites. Great choices. Rewind Rounds, Precision Instrument, very strong combo as well. I imagine it'll have lots of strong combinations. But come on, like, we've had Hung Jury in the game a ton. And they didn't bring back Kindled Orchid, which I would have loved to see come back. 140 RPM hand cannon that was void. It used to roll Kill Clip Rampage. I know that would have been a fan favorite if it came back. So this is my only gripe. But still, they did very good on these weapons, as we'll go through. So here's Succession, and I'm just going to turn up. Is this where Chris Proctor talks about it? Maybe I won't turn it up. But anyways, Forbearance and Succession are 2 weapons that are coming back. And that is because if you don't own Witch Queen and you don't own Beyond Light, then you can't run the raid to get Forbearance and Succession. So this basically gives it so that players can get some of the best weapons in the game. And Forbearance looks nasty, as we'll get to. And then Midnight Coup was always a super awesome weapon. And at some point, they actually click on Midnight Coup. And it's got 90 aim assist, which is just crazy. So here's that origin trait. I know they go on to talk about it later, but I'll just talk about it now. So final blows grant grenade energy when playing a light subclass or melee energy when playing a darkness subclass. So right away, like Strand Titan, this origin trait's going to be really good with because it's all about the punches. And then the grenade energy on light subclasses. So take, what's it called? Hammerhead, for instance. It can roll Rampage and Killing Tally. You could run like a Controverse Void Warlock, chuck out a grenade, then you're going to be dealing, and say you have the volatile round fragment on. So now you've got volatile rounds with a damage buff from Killing Tally, which goes up to 33%, I believe. And then Rampage also goes up to like 30%. So those should stack multiplicatively. So if you had 3 times stack of Rampage and 3 times stack of Killing Tally, that's 73% more damage, 72.9. If my times 3 are right. I haven't looked at those perks in a long time. But anyways, they do stack because they're in different perk columns. So 70% more damage. And especially what if you had weakened grenades on as well? So you've got volatile rounds, huge damage boost, and you're weakening with your grenade. So yeah, it could be absolutely insane. So here they just keep going through the weapons. Here's where we see the 90 aim assist on Midnight Coup, and this is that nice ornament. It looks really, really awesome. So yeah, another fan favorite from the Leviathan raid. Excellent weapon. The Recluse Master of Arms is back. They do go on to say that Master of Arms is nerfed from how strong it used to be, which is honestly a really good thing. Luna's Howl with Magnificent Howl also returning. I talked about how they reworked that. And then also Heal Clip, Kill Clip. Heal Clip and Mag Howl could be extremely, extremely good. So I'm very pumped to get a roll with that. I'll just keep skipping ahead here. Elsie's Rifle, so Zen Moment Desperado. This thing looks just like No Time to Explain. So yeah, a high impact frame. I was going to say aggressive. High impact pulse. So that's really neat that they brought this back. Looks awesome. Forbearance, so you can still get Chain Reaction. No word yet on if we can get Ambitious Assassin, but Disruption Break you can't currently get on it, and that's really good. And then I talked about the Indomitable origin trait. That is going to be a monster on Forbearance because it's an ad clear machine. And then, so right now it's got Soul Drinker or whatever it is, so it gives you some health back. But now, this origin trait, you're going to get Grenade Energy back if you're running this on a light subclass, melee energy on a dark, so not quite as good in my opinion, but be getting tons of grenade energy back every time you take out a group of ads with Forbearance, which this thing is a master of. So honestly, I think this Forbearance will be more meta than the Vow of the Disciple one, honestly. So it's pretty crazy. There's Recluse, there's Edge Transit. I talked about its god rolls with Cascade Point and Frenzy. Falling Guillotine, Chain Reaction, Eager Edge. I imagine it'll also have some other nice perks. Probably very similar to the Slammer, to be honest. Hammerhead. We already talked about that. So where are we going next? Oh, actually at 1830, they do mention this.
The first sword outside of those available in Crota's End, I believe, that has sword logic on it as well.
So it can roll with sword logic. So that's pretty neat. So we're going to jump to 1950. There's some cool tech here with Mountaintop.
Mountaintop Recluse combo here. Yeah. And there's some new stuff with Mountaintop too, where you can rocket jump.
So you can see you don't take much damage at all, and you can rocket jump with it.
And there's some new stuff
which you can do with Danger Zone currently.
Rocket jump.
But yeah, you don't take much damage, which is huge. You take some, but...
Right. So I'm so glad we got to that point this early because one of the things, but Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, we held off on bringing Mountaintop into the sort of modern Destiny because it was just way too strong in both PvP and in PvE.
Yeah.
In PvP, it was like a pretty unpleasant meta when Mountaintop was part of everyone's loadout, so we definitely didn't want it to be able to one-hit kill, even with a direct hit in PvP anymore.
Fair.
So there, he said it can't one-hit kill with a direct hit anymore. So that's a good thing, in my opinion. If you ever played in the Mountaintop days, you know how oppressive it could be. And here is where they talk about the scope on Blast Furnace.
Version rolled with scopes, which, like, everyone would just pick the best scope. Like, internally, we felt like the Rasmussen ISA scope was like by far the best. Really, really clean.
Yeah.
And with the changes to damage fall off on weapons, zoom doesn't matter that much anymore anyway.
Yeah.
So it comes pre-equipped with that scope geometry, but it can roll barrels instead. So you get all the benefits of stats.
Oh, awesome.
Stats are already pretty juiced.
Yeah.
But you have that classic scope geo.
Actually, also, too, to channel chat one more time, as a quick heads up as well, these weapons, while they won't be craftable, they are going to be enhanceable. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So these weapons will retroactively be enhanceable when the final shape comes out. So any drops that you get during this initial period, you'll be able to enhance them.
Excellent.
So you can enhance these weapons just like you can like the Slammer and these new, Iron Banner weapons that are coming. So yeah, that's really nice.
Okay, so you want to make sure really hold out. Yeah.
So I just want to pause it here. So this is that Last Stand perk. So initially it's about 3260, then 3908. It's a 20% damage buff, but then you can get grenade kills, and he said that stacks on top. So it's not quite like Golden Tricorn where you have to get a kill, then you get an ability kill, and then you have 50% damage. The way I understand this perk is if you get a grenade kill, it will increase the damage, or a weapon kill, it'll increase the damage. So the weapon kill alone being 20% is quite significant. And then maybe the grenade kill will also be, maybe it's like 25%. Again, I don't know. But anyways, if it was and they stacked multiplicatively, that would be a 50% damage bonus as well. I can't see it being as strong as Golden Tricorn. Maybe it is, but it just seems weird because it seems like such an easier activation. But anyway, I don't know exactly how the perk works yet, obviously, but it sounds very, very strong. So Last Stand, definitely one to look out for. And they talk about it. Where is it? Right here.
We got a question from chat that is, what's the difference between the new perk and Golden Tricorn? They sound pretty similar.
They do have kind of similar functionality. The big one is that the Golden Tricorn bonus is large, but doesn't stack once you get it. So the uptime on the new perk, whose name I can't remember,
Yep.
it's not in this book, we changed it, is that the uptime is higher.
Excellent. Okay. Makes sense.
So yeah, just from the horse's mouth there. So that sounds pretty interesting.
Again, reminder this.
And then here's the trait or perk itself. Weapon final blows grant bonus damage. Melee and grenade final blows grant a larger damage bonus that can stack. So like I said, the weapon one alone is 20%. So you got to think it's at least a 5% increase on that. So again, my guess is 25%. 1.2 times 1.25 is 1.5. So like I said, this could be a super, super strong roll. Let me see. 2310 is my next timestamp.
All of those chests can react to attunement. So if you attune to a weapon, anytime you see a chest, it's going to happen. So
Excellent.
Every set, not every wave, that'd be crazy. Every set, there's a chest with a weapon in it. If you do it at higher difficulty, there are two chests. They both have weapons in them. And if you keep the 80.
So yeah, she's talking about the chest. So attunement, she kind of said every time it will be that attunement. I don't know if you can attune multiple things at a time. So maybe you did Recluse and Mountaintop. Maybe 50% of the time it'll be one, 50% the other, or you can only have one attunement. So then it would only drop that one weapon. So that would be really nice. So say you got all your God rolls on 11 of the 12 weapons and you just want the perfect Midnight Coup. Then you attune it, and then all your Onslaught runs, from the sounds of what she said there, should drop Midnight Coups. And then she said the harder versions, the Legend variant of Onslaught or whatever it is, will drop 2 per chest. So that's quite significant. And it's every 10 runs. So, sorry, every 10 waves, you get a chest, and you can run up to 50 waves. So 5 chests, and if you were doing the legend version, that's 10 drops per run. So pretty darn good.
You alive throughout the entirety of Onslaught. There's another bonus chest available. So you can get a lot. If you just keep yourself kicking and get all the way through there, keep the ADU up. There's a lot of...
Yeah, and then there's like bonus chests for keeping the ADU up or something like that. So yeah, it's going to drop loot on you.
The legend 50-wave version of Onslaught are going to be well rewarded for those efforts.
Players some control over the drops that they get, but it retains the excitement of those drops. Like, you will get your...
See, so there he just said it gives you control over the drops you get. And that's what I was talking about earlier with the agency and how we had that like so well done in the menagerie. So I'm really excited about that. So we'll just go ahead a bit here.
If you get it correct. But just to reiterate, will these weapons be attainable after the final shape arrives?
Yes, the base weapons will be, but the limited edition variants with those sweet ornaments will not.
Excellent. All right. So again...
So the base versions of the weapons will be available in the final shape, but the ones with the fancy shader are limited time only between now and the final shape, or April 9th, I should say, and the final shape.
Make sure you go ahead and dive on in. Roll. This is from our opinion, like one of
our site. Yes.
Thank you. That's right.
So here they talk about curated roles.
Like this is the go-to role. This is from our opinion, like one of our favorites. Or what was the process of kind of building those curated roles?
Yeah, we try to deliver something which is like an extremely good role, not necessarily the single perfect role, because we want you to have a reason to go in and get excited for those drops.
Yeah.
But like we would say, they're a 70, 80% god roll.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. On the way, certainly.
So just saying that the curateds, they're a lot like a ritual weapon, like a very strong roll, but not like the god roll.
Yeah. And also too is remember everyone just farm away. Now's the time.
Wanted to make sure people weren't completely at the mercy of RNG when it comes to getting.
So this is talking about the quests from that other NPC that's besides Shax's, our site or whatever.
These limited edition variants. So if you log in, you do those quests at our site, you can get one guaranteed copy of a limited edition of each weapon with that curated roll.
Yeah.
So
is,
one guaranteed.
It's in again. Walk.
Final blows. It grants you grenade energy if you're running a light subclass.
Here we go. We got it on screen.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, which would be Arc Void or Solo, or melee energy if you're running a darkness subclass, which would be Stasis or Strand.
So that was just some clarification on the origin trait, which again, to me, sounds very, very strong. So then somebody asked something about Onslaught farming.
And then grind to your heart's content.
Yes, you'll be getting weapons every run. You'll also be getting currency from Shax's that you can bring back, and you can throw in that chest that I showed you, so you can just keep opening that chest. Just keep going.
Dive on it.
So yeah, basically just saying there's no like loot lockouts or anything. You can just farm to your heart's content.
Reminder to everyone in chat. So the Brave Arsenal will be able to drop from Onslaught at every stage. Was it every 10 levels?
Yes, every set.
Excellent. Okay, set. Thank you very much. All right. See, this is.
And then that's just you got a chance at those Brave weapons with like the presumably the double perk traits and the fancy ornament.
Can remove it, you can't put it on something else. It's locked to the weapon that it dropped on.
Makes sense, yeah.
And then there he's just talking about the ornament again, how here I'll just replay it.
So you can remove it, you can't put it on something else. It's locked to the weapon that it dropped on.
Locked to the weapon that it drops on. So you can remove it, you can't put it on something else.
Makes sense, yeah. So Tom, what are you running? Pretty well.
Yeah, so weapon final blows grant bonus damage, melee and grenade final blows grant a larger damage bonus that can stack. So once you get this perk really rolling, it's very strong.
Yeah.
Sustain it.
So yeah, I just wanted to point that one out one more time. He says once it's rolling, it's very strong, which I can definitely see given how it sounds on paper.
Of those weapons.
Yes, they will.
Oh, awesome.
Both for the base versions and for the variants, you can equip any ornaments that you've got. Players have already noticed that some of those are showing up later in the season.
Yeah.
In the Bright Dust Storm.
So yeah, this is just talking about weapon ornaments. So back in the day, they would have like weapon ornaments on legendaries. The Recluse had a pretty cool one. So somebody asked if you can put them on, and yes, you can. So that's neat.
Anyone out there that might actually need to be, what was the role that these weapons played? Like, why is?
Oh, this is where I started. this was them talking about like choosing which weapons to bring back and why we're bringing them back, and it's to take on the Witness.
Is perk as powerful as before?
No, it's had to be toned down a little bit.
Fair.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is Master of
Actually,
Arms.
also, too, we got one more quick question from chat that caught my eye. Is the Master of Arms perk as powerful as before?
No, it's had to be toned down a little bit.
Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, so he said they toned it down, which is very, very good because it was the only weapon that you'd ever use. Like, it was a monster. I had over 3,000 kills in PvP, but in PvE, lots of my friends had around 60,000 kills. I had like 35, 40,000. It was a must run. Like, and especially back in that sandbox, we didn't have nearly as many good weapons and different perks and build synergies and things. But yeah, it was oppressive. Let's call it that. Like, it was great. Don't get me wrong. I loved Recluse, but you were nerfing yourself if you ran anything else. So it's good that they toned down Master of Arms.
But here on Edge Transit column,
Yeah.
being able to just like mag dump
Yeah.
a whole drum grenade launcher, it's really strong.
Yeah.
So there he's just talking about how good Cascade Point is and how strong Edge Transit is. And like I said, and like he just said, being able to mag dump that fast is very strong. But now you can do it with Frenzy and maybe some other damage perk too. We're not sure.
The burst
It's really fun.
It's
fun
kind of.
feeling.
Oh, wait, sorry.
And also, too, actually, another question from chat. To get the double perk rolls on the weapons, do you have to do higher level onslaughts, or is there a chance for them to drop with double perks in each column regardless?
there is always a chance. Those are the limited edition variants. Yeah.
Yeah. And also,
So basically just saying there's always a chance to get the double perks, which I know that's what I'm going to be farming for. Hopefully I get lucky.
going to be available. The weapons are going to be available. You and your team over on the weapons team have also gone ahead and authored a blog that will be hitting Bungie.net tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to list out all of the weapons and all of the perks that can appear on them. So
Yeah.
no mystery about the perk rules as of tomorrow.
Yeah.
So stay tuned tomorrow because they're releasing that blog with all the weapon perks on all the different weapons. So that's really awesome.
Excellent. So
And
there'll
then
be,
here's some more Meg Howl gameplay.
Actually, so also too, we've talked a lot about the Brave Arsenal. Let's go ahead and touch on the
So there you can see it stacking up
Parade
times
set
2.
again. What was kind of the inspiration behind that set and kind of bringing it forward now? This is kind of like a full circle moment, rather, that I know Tom was mentioning. But why is Shax choosing
So times 3, and then watch when he reloads, he gets 3 Meg Howl bullets.
now to equip us with this armor set?
So yeah, that's going to be really, really good. And then I'll just go to the outro here because it talks about next week.
To have another live stream about everything, or some more stuff coming with Destiny 2 Into the Light, including some exotic mission, some exotic mission content, and the craftable weapons that'll be available to them. Chat, I saw you mentioning some stuff about that potentially, so come back next week. Also, we'll be going to go ahead and walk through the PvP map pack as well. So if you want to see everything that's going to be coming in those 3 maps, next week will be your time. And there might be a few more additional surprises that we'll have in store for you. Never know. And also too, the final thing we're going to go ahead and make sure you close with is, as a quick reminder, of course, with the arrival of the final shape, you'll be able to get 100 more slots in your vault.
So yeah, he mentioned exotic missions. I'm really hoping it's the Whisper of the Worm. Like, that is literally the mission that made me fall in love with Destiny 2. I could see it being it. He mentions the craftable weapon that you get from it, or weapons if there's multiple. So Whisper of the Worm, it's already really, really good, very strong. And some people have speculated maybe it'll get Precision Instrument or something, which would be absolutely insane. Like, it would push that weapon to be so meta. So yeah, I'm very excited for next week. And I'll definitely be trying to solo flawless Whisper of the Worm if it comes back. Who knows? Maybe we'll get the Outbreak Perfected mission. We're not sure, but they're going to talk about it next week. And like I said, they also mentioned that the weapon that you get from it is craftable. So yeah, there'll be like a reason to farm it so you can get the pattern. And then the PvP map pack, they mentioned 3 maps. So that's really cool. Anyways, that was still 35 minutes long. So sorry if I rambled too much, but I wanted to give my thoughts as well as kind of just give an overview of all the high-level points that they talked about, the important stuff that they talked about. Obviously, feel free to watch it yourself, but those were the main points that I was concerned about. And I'm very, very excited because this loot looks really strong. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and sub and all that good stuff. And if you're still watching, thanks for watching to the end, and take care.